and welcome into a Water Break Wednesday presented by Crown Royal. My name is Drew Dougherty, joined as always by my good friend Deepi Sidhu, and we are here to answer your questions. Deepi, this is a weird day because it's Wednesday, which is normally one of the busiest days of our week, of the players' week, of the coaches' week, and the players are not here because of illness, not COVID. There have been no positive COVID tests, but because of a few guys being sick, they stay home. The whole team stays home. They do work virtually. We heard from head coach David Culley as well as Jacob Martin, Nico Collins, and Roy Lopez earlier, but no practice on a Wednesday. Got to wonder how that affects things the rest of the week, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, we got the message late last night or yesterday evening, and the good news is there are no COVID positive tests. So if everything stays the way it is, they'll be back in the building tomorrow. Jacob Martin talked about it. He said they'll just watch more film today. There'll be a lot more film study. And then tomorrow they'll have to probably hit practice a little bit harder. Maybe the extra day off is good for their bodies to rest a little bit. I think the prep that they're going to do, they're probably still going to do it all virtually. I mean, they know how it goes because last year this happened quite a bit. You know, every time that you had any sort of scare or whatnot, you know, everybody worked from home. We saw it a few times last year. We haven't seen it this year at all. So I think the good news is it's not because of a COVID test. It's just out of an abundance of caution. That's what the medical team recommended to David Culley. And I might want to mention also, we know that since Thanksgiving happened over the weekend across the league, they had everyone test again on Monday. Normally Wednesday's the testing day. So everybody did go through the COVID testing protocol on Monday, and then we still wore masks throughout the building. So everyone's just being extra cautious. But Drew, I think it's going to be a film study sort of a day for these players today.
Yeah, you're right. You know, you don't get to do the physical work, which could be a drawback, but you know, the noted optimist, Gary Glasshalf-Full, he thinks this is good, like you, as far as the guys get some rest. It's almost like a veteran rest day for everyone. So there is that to consider, but the Colts come to town. They're 6-6. Tough loss to the Buccaneers. And like we talked about on In the Lab the other day, a lot of people are going to have tough losses to Tampa Bay and Tom Brady this year. And the Buccaneers were one of them. But nobody is better at taking the ball away than Indy is. Nobody has a better turnover differential than the Colts do. They are atop the league at plus 12. Texans are doing well in the TO differential category. They're plus 2. That's 12th in the NFL, which is kind of amazing because usually when stereotypically, you look at those stats, TO differential, and if you're above water, and that you usually have a winning record. Instead, the Texans are 7 games under 500. So that's tough. But we're here to answer questions, and we'll talk a little bit more about the matchup in a little bit. We got folks from Europe chiming in Germany, the UK, as well as folks here in Houston. But we'll start with German Texan Justin Reed. Or German Texan wants to know, will Justin Reed be back? And yes, he will be back. We heard David Culley say so earlier this morning. His teammates echoed that. They're happy to have him back. It's good to have him back in the secondary because secondary has been playing a little bit better over the last few weeks, and you insert your best player in the secondary back into it, Deepi, and it stands to reason that they could play even better, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is a Colts team that they're still trying to play for a postseason appearance. And so, you know, the Texans, it would be nice to play spoiler, and having one of your best defensive players out there certainly will help that. And just to force those turnovers. Last week, the Texans could have used Justin Reed, especially when there were some injuries late in the game. So to have him back is a huge plus. We didn't really hear too much about what went down other than it was a disciplinary action, but the team seems to have moved on. They met with head coach David Culley said that they met with Justin on Monday. And so they're just business as usual. They're going to move forward with it. And, you know, he'll be playing on Sunday, which is great news.
Yeah, we're excited to have him back. And we got one from Bethany. Bethany wants to know, how are the Texans planning on stopping Jonathan Taylor? Well, there's going to be a lot of prayers, and there's also going to be a lot of scheming up involved because this guy is outstanding, and he has given the Texans fits each of the last few times he's played them, whether it was last year, whether it was this year. You think back to last year when he split out wide and nobody went out to cover him, and it was an easy pitch and catch touchdown for Phillip Rivers to Jonathan Taylor. But now it's Carson Wentz under center, and we heard from Rico. I have a friend, one of my best friends is named Rico, and we heard from Nico Collins today, and then
Roy Lopez.
Roy. I'm just mixing them all up. But we heard from Roy Lopez, and he said that, Taylor's a guy that runs with violence, and he's got top end speed, and you're going to have to play gap sound and be very disciplined in what they do. But he's also going to be able to break a few here and there, even when you're playing gap sound, Deepy.
Yeah, I mean, he's rushed for over 100 yards in 5 of his last 7 games, and against the Bucks, a very strange thing happened against the Bucks. They did not give Jonathan Taylor the ball from somewhere in the middle of the second quarter to the fourth quarter, and it was driving people crazy that were watching the Colts. 26 pass attempts in a row, and Frank Reich came out in his Monday morning press conference and explained that the Bucks defense, it's a really good run defense. They were stacking the box, and so they decided to go with the air raid instead, and it didn't really work for them. They ended up falling behind. They had a 10-point lead. They fell behind. They lost the game. But I think the Colts are going to maybe overcorrect, because he got half as many carries last week as Jonathan Taylor did the week before against the Bills, when we saw him get 5 touchdowns, 4 rushing and 1 receiving. So I think it's going to be a heavy dose of Jonathan Taylor, and they're going to maybe take a little bit of what they saw the Bucks do and try to improvise and just really try to stop that run game. The good thing with Carson Wentz is he does turn the ball over sometimes. So maybe if you get some pressure on him and, try to get them to stop the run, you can get some takeaways. The offense is going to have to play better too. So it's not going to be just on the defense, but if the offense is on the field a little bit longer, less time for Jonathan Taylor on the field. But I expect they're going to be running the ball a lot, heavy, hard, and often with Taylor on Sunday.
Yeah, I totally agree. We got Joe from the UK saying, "What's up?" So what's up? Right back at you, Joe, from the UK. Hope everything is great over there. And then Steve in Conroe has a good one. Why do the Texans seem to have trouble wrapping up when tackling? Well, we heard Lovie Smith earlier in the year talk about it, and, he was not pleased with what he had been seeing. But, on the whole, I think the Texans defensively played pretty darn well last week. They bottled up that passing game of Zach Wilson. I know he's a rookie, but they only got 109 passing yards. And usually when you do that, you're walking away a winner. But, they just weren't able to get things, like, as you talked about earlier, the Texans weren't able to get things going offensively against the Jets. But as far as the tackling, it could always be better. I think over the years, in recent years, you've seen tackling quality kind of dip, just because you're not as able to practice it as much as you were in years past because of the rules as far as hitting and the amount of time you can spend in pads. But, it's just one of those things, I would say. But Texans always want to get better there, and they say that they're focusing on it, Deepi.
It does seem like it's gotten better. I mean, I agree with you. I think the missed tackling was definitely an issue, maybe the first time that this team played the Colts. But in recent weeks, it seems like it's gotten better. Maybe he's referring to an instance here or there where, it wasn't a good tackle. But on the whole, if you look at the big picture, it seems like there are fewer missed tackles. I mean, that was definitely a point of emphasis early on in the season. But yeah, I mean, they're going to have to wrap up guys. They're going to have to, complete those tackles and make those big plays, especially if they want to stop an offense like Jonathan Taylor and Carson Wentz here on Sunday. But overall, I think that's gotten better. I think, they're still working on the penalties and getting the offense moving and some other things, to try to get better.
Yeah, Steve, and we're not saying it's perfect. Obviously there have been missed tackles, of course, but excuse me, on the whole, it's like DP saying, it's gotten a little bit better from probably the first third of the season to now. It's Battle Red Sunday, DP, coming out of the tunnel as the home field advantage team captain, leading the Texans onto the field this week is Lance McCullers. That's going to be awesome. I know that'll get a nice big cheer. Just like last Sunday's home field advantage team captain was a 99-year-old Major John Craddock. He was a World War II veteran. He came out. He's a guy that still lifts weights a few times a week at the age of 99, sharp as a tack, and a real American hero. So it's going to be fun seeing McCullers come out of the tunnel. The TSU Ocean of Soul Marching Band is going to be the halftime entertainment. So they're going to put on a fantastic show, and I'm looking forward to Battle Red Sunday. It's I think, the best Texans uniform out there. What do you think, DP?
Can't wait to see it. Just wondering if it's going to be white pants or red pants. Probably white pants. Maybe blue.
Hope so, because red pants, not a good look at all.
Ketchup bottles.
Yeah. Well, DP, as always, it's fun talking with you. This has been a Water Break Wednesday, and it wouldn't have been possible without our good pals behind the scenes in Amanda Caffey and Tyler Marcotte, the puppeteer, making things happen. So we hope you have a great Wednesday. Hope you have a fantastic rest of the week, and see you on Sunday. Until then, go Texans.